Ever tell someone no and suddenly you're the villain of the year? That's what happened when I refused to let two strangers invited by my HOA president no less into my house. I thought I was being cautious. She thought I was being difficult. Then she called the cops on me. What happened next? Let's just say the police weren't there for me. You're watching HOA Outlaws, and this one got way messier than I ever imagined. Hit the comments and tell me, have you ever had a neighbor try to weaponize the rules, or better yet, the cops? Moving to Oakwood Hills was supposed to be my fresh start. I'm Gavin Cole, and I make wooden signs for a living, hand-carved directory boards for schools, historic buildings, that sort of thing. My grandfather taught me the trade, standing over my shoulder as I carved my first letter, A, into pine. Now it means something, he said, tapping the wood. That's when I knew this was more than a job, it was family. After years of apartment living, I saved enough for a small house in what seemed like a quiet neighborhood. The realtor mentioned an HOA, but I figured it was basic stuff, keep your lawn neat, no neon pink houses. I should have known better when the contract was thicker than my lease. The moving truck hadn't even finished unloading when she appeared, Diana Mullery, president of the Oakwood Hills Homeowners Association. Mid-40s, crisp white blazer, leather folder that screamed, I'm in charge. Her smile was wide, practiced, and terrifying. Welcome to Oakwood Hills, she announced, extending a manicured hand. I'm Diana Mullery, your HOA president. I wanted to personally deliver your welcome packet and go over our community guidelines. The way she said guidelines sounded like a military handbook. I invited her in for coffee, biggest mistake of my year. Diana spread out a small library on my kitchen table, color charts for house paint, diagrams for lawn maintenance, even specs for porch light wattage. Who catalogs porch lights like it's national security? Now, I notice you have a pickup truck, she said, flipping through papers like a prosecutor. Commercial vehicles can't be parked on the street after 6 p.m. Then she spotted my workshop in the garage, carving tools, a half-finished sign for the local school. Her eyes lit up. Oh, you do woodworking? How quaint. Just know any business signage needs approval by the Architectural Review Committee. She examined my work with a magnifying glass, dismissing hours of labor like it was a crooked Etsy knockoff. I clenched my teeth, white-knuckled around my mug. This wasn't about standards. This was about control. Diana wasn't just HOA president, she was the self-appointed queen of Oakwood Hills, and I was in her kingdom. That night, I read the 47-page welcome packet. Rules covered everything from fence paint shades to grass species. Every hedge in the neighborhood was trimmed to the same height, porch lights the same wattage. It wasn't peace, it was conformity. Diana's enforcement style hit hard. A letter slipped under my door overnight. Your workshop lighting exceeds permitted lumens for residential garage use. Adjust within 72 hours or face a $50 daily fine. Mrs. Patterson, my 70-year-old neighbor, warned me the next morning. Diana fined us for hanging our flag too long on Memorial Day. Be careful, she's got it out for anyone who doesn't fall in line. Then came a note taped to my mailbox. Unapproved cedar finish may not meet visual cohesion standards. It wasn't signed, but I didn't need a signature. Standing in my driveway holding Diana's ridiculous letters, I decided I wouldn't live in fear of the HOA queen. Game on, Diana. Her next move came 72 hours later, a letter threatening a lien on my property over a work lamp. Ruthless. But I had an advantage she didn't know about. Before becoming a woodcarver, I spent 3 years doing signage for government buildings, city halls, courthouses, DMVs, learning to read regulations like poetry and find loopholes like treasure. I requested the full HOA charter and bylaws, 83 pages of legal text. By midnight, I found it, Section 15, Subsection C, commercial vehicles could park on streets if actively engaged in permitted business activities. I had a business license, insurance, and municipal code backing me up. The next morning, I turned my Ford pickup into a mobile ad for coal woodworking, magnetic signs, tools loaded in the bed. Then I parked it right in front of Diana's house and left it there all night. Her blinds twitched. The street went still. It wasn't just a truck, it was a dare. Diana's violation notice arrived the next day, but I was ready. I knocked on her door, armed with my own folder. I'm in full compliance with Section 15, Subsection C, I said, handing her copies of my permits and the municipal code. I'm sure you appreciate following the letter of the law, not just the spirit. After all, that's what HOAs are for, ensuring fairness, right? Her composure cracked, jaw tight, fingers gripping the papers too hard. This is highly irregular, she stammered, but she knew I'd won this round. That night, I grilled burgers in my backyard, truck still parked like a neon checkmate. Neighbors waved, some even asking about my business. Half the neighborhood had been waiting for someone to stand up to Diana's reign of terror. But I should have known better than to celebrate too early. Diana didn't accept defeat gracefully. I just poked a sleeping dragon. Diana's retaliation started small: noise complaints for sanding at 7:30 a.m., fines for trash cans left out 30 minutes late. She was building a case, documenting every infraction. I tested the waters by hosting a barbecue, inviting my buddy Wes, a construction foreman who could spot trouble from blocks away. Diana sounds like a real piece of work, Wes said, flipping burgers. You sure you want to keep poking the bear? What's she going to do? Fine me for having friends? I laughed, but the silence felt wrong. Too clean, too careful. The neighborhood was too quiet for a Saturday. Then I noticed the community entrance camera was out of order, fresh scratches on the power connection. Weird timing. Around 4 o'clock, Diana appeared at my gate, but not alone. 2 men were with her, mid-30s, jeans and t-shirts, one lanky with prison tattoos, the other built like a tank with dead eyes. They looked out of place in Oakwood Hills, like a motorcycle gang at a church picnic. Gavin, Diana called, voice artificially cheerful. Meet Jake and Tommy. They're new to the area and interested in the neighborhood. The way she said interested made my skin crawl. I approached the gate but didn't open it. Nice to meet you, I said, keeping the fence between us. You looking to buy? Tommy's laugh made me want to check my locks. Something like that, he said, glancing at Diana. Actually, Diana said, stepping closer, I was hoping you'd invite them in, show them around. They're my guests, after all. I'm sure you wouldn't want to be unwelcoming. Her smile was forced, her tone urgent. Wes moved beside me, tension radiating off him. Thanks, but we're good, I said, voice steady. Just having a quiet afternoon with family. Diana's mask slipped. Panic, not anger, flashed across her face. Jake and Tommy exchanged a look, and Tommy's hand moved to his pocket in a way that made my mouth go dry. I really think you should reconsider, Diana said, almost pleading. Community spirit is so important here. That's when Wes whispered, dude, the short one just dropped cash behind that bush. I saw it. Tommy had handed Diana money when they thought we weren't looking. You know what, Diana, I said, louder now, we're done here. This is my property, and I decide who comes through that gate. The temperature dropped. Diana's face went white, then red, then purple. Fine, she spat, civility gone. But don't think this is over. I'm calling the police. You'll regret this. As they walked away, Jake and Tommy lingered, eyeing my house like they were memorizing the layout. I heard Tommy mutter, backup plan, before they disappeared. She's not just trying to intimidate you, Wes said. She's scared. Not of us, of them. 20 minutes later, sirens. 2 patrol cars pulled up and my barbecue turned into a spectacle. Diana marched out in a power suit, meeting the officers like a general. Officer Williams, a young guy, approached my door. Mr. Cole, we received a complaint about a disturbance. Mind if we ask a few questions? I invited them in, explaining the strange visitors, Diana's insistence, the cash exchange Wes had caught on video. So, you refuse to let these individuals onto your property? Williams asked, confused. Ma'am, he called to Diana, Mr. Cole has every right to control access to his property. I'm not sure what disturbance you're reporting. Diana's face turned dangerous red, claiming I'd violated community standards by refusing hospitality. Then Wes ran up, phone in hand. Gavin, you need to see this. His footage showed the money exchange clear as day. Williams watched it twice, then called his partner. Can you identify these men? He asked Diana. Her expression was like stepping in quicksand. They're just friends visiting the neighborhood, she stammered, authority gone. The radio crackled, all units, be advised. Suspects from the Elmwood burglary series spotted in Oakwood Hills. 2 male subjects, descriptions match. Williams's partner pointed down the street. That's them. Everything moved fast. Within minutes, Jake and Tommy were face down in handcuffs. Williams returned, apologetic. Those men are wanted for home burglaries. They target houses to case the layout and security. Any idea why Ms. Mallory might have wanted them in your house? The pieces fell into place. Diana's panic, the cash, she wasn't just weird, she had a plan. Wes's video, witness statements, and items found on Jake and Tommy confirmed it. Diana was getting paid $500 per house they robbed, identifying targets during her community wellness checks. As they questioned Diana, Tommy shouted, you said this would be easy? You said he'd let us in. Game over for her story. By Sunday, Diana was in damage control, slipping an apologetic letter under my door, painting herself as an innocent victim. But by Monday, she'd launched an offensive, claiming I brought Jake and Tommy into the neighborhood using my business as a front. She produced fake documents, violation notices with fresh ink and mismatched signatures. Mrs. Patterson saw her making them in her garage, stamps and papers everywhere. Neighbors turned against her. Mrs. Harris, a soft-spoken woman in her 60s, said, "Diana, I saw the whole thing. Those men came with you." Diana's last stand was an emergency HOA meeting presenting a conspiracy theory flip chart accusing me of being a criminal mastermind. But she'd invited Harrison Beck, a retired insurance investigator. He dismantled her lies, pulling out the original HOA charter. Section 42, subsection D, residents may call for a vote of no confidence if the president engages in criminal activity. The vote was 31-1. Diana's only supporter was herself. "You'll regret this," she spat, storming out. Diana's house sold quickly. She pleaded guilty to conspiracy and obstruction, getting 18 months in prison. Jake and Tommy got 5 years each. The new HOA, led by Harrison, rolled back her ridiculous rules. Kids biked freely, lawns weren't perfect, and no one cared. My business boomed. Stopping a burglary made me the guy who carved signs and chaos. I installed a new community sign, Oakwood Hills, a community of neighbors. Gramps used to say, "Wood doesn't lie. You just have to carve away the mess." I finally get it. If you're dealing with an HOA tyrant, keep the receipts, know your rights, and speak up before someone like Diana fills the silence. You've been watching HOA Outlaws. Drop your story in the comments if you've taken on a power tripper with a clipboard. And hey, if you stuck with me this far, you know what to do. Thanks for watching. This version keeps the tension, humor, and key moments intact while making the story more concise and dynamic for a script format.